Hi everybody. Gosh, there were some early birds today, like Karen and Beverly. Hi Connie, hi Tony, hi Joanne, hi Margaret, hi Jean, hi Lorraine. Well, that's thanks to my boss, Connie. I have nothing to do with that. Hi Doreen. Make sure I can see all my comments. Can you all hear me okay? Hi Marion. Ooh. What's your weather like? Is it cold? Because it's flipping cold here. It's because we get a notification 5 minutes beforehand. Well, it's nice that it keeps you on your toes, Lorraine. Hear and see fine. Fabulous. Thank you, Connie. Hi, Valerie. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Margaret. Great. Love it when a plan comes together. What's this? Mine's on its way. Good, Jan. It's such a beautiful set. And it's so versatile as well. You know, you could use it like Tina's used it with no colour at all, just on a really beautiful pearl cream card. And that's perfect for a wedding and to make it into a standalone card as well. Clod and damp, eh, Connie? I'm sure you mean cold and damp. Oh, it tickled me. Hi, Nettie. Dull and overcast. Wet, wet, wet. Oh, it's not raining here yet. I'm sure it will. Bright and dry, raining. I don't know. We're never satisfied, are we? Let's be honest. Let's make sure I can see my comments on the group as well. No, I can't see the comments on the group. Never mind. Right. Shall we get going then? I'm obviously going to be using the fabulous Floral Heart. If there's anybody that's joining us that didn't see Lisa's live on Friday night, this is the beautiful set that we're talking about, Floral Heart, 10 layering stencils, embossing folder and cutting die to match. Currently the website deal of the week, and you can see the QR code up here, just about, I think. That gives you a full £7 off the recommended retail price. So it's usually $33.99, not $33.98. it's actually £26.99 at the moment, and that is a cracking deal. So, you know, if you want it, I would get it. I know it's flying. I know it's going really, really quick. So if you want it, I'd grab it while it's in. You know, when Lisa does these fabulous deals, they do move very, very quickly. You're waiting for yours, are you, Val? I can't wait to see what you do with it. Hi, Carol. Hi, Pat. Mild. Lucky you. Wish it was mild here. It's freezing. But I won't let him put the heating on. I'm so mean. I won't let him put the heating on because I've told him when it gets really, really cold, he won't feel the benefit. So he's sulking. Never mind, eh? So yeah, we're using those, and I'm going to stencil it, I'm going to cut it out, and I'm going to emboss it. So I'm going all the way through like Lisa did on Friday. I'm also using these. I haven't reached out the cover sheet for them, but these are the Be Happy sentiments that were on Create and Craft recently. Set 1 and 2. I can't remember which set the stamps I'm using come from, but it's either 1 or 2. So if you grab that as a deal, well done, because there are some beautiful, beautiful sentiments in there. Halfway with the box I made last week. Oh, good. Don't worry. I know it will get there eventually, Connie. Waiting for yours to arrive, are you, Carolyn? You won't regret it. You definitely won't regret it. Yes, I did see you were having problems, Margaret. It should have been delivered Saturday, shouldn't it? But you'll get it. You'll get it. It'll be worth the wait, I promise. So I'm also using the heart stripes, and I've embossed with this just some little pieces of card that go onto the card that I'm making, because I just thought it tied in really nicely with the floral heart. Okay, so I'm using those. I'm also using the gorgeous padded quilt. I can't tell you how many times Lisa has restocked and restocked and restocked this 3D embossing folder. It is probably the most requested 3D embossing folder that she's ever done. And when you emboss it on satin card, oh my days, it's gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. So I'm using that. I'm also using the smaller of these two stamps, the Summer Petunia, out of the set. And I'm literally only using these two little bits of this smallest stamp, okay? Only to just put a little bit of interest onto a blank piece of card. So I'm using those. You can use whatever florals you like, but I just wanted something. I definitely wanted a floral, and that was the first one I came to. Now on my sample that I pre-prepared, I used the BAROQUE embossing folder, the 3D embossing folder. Again, another stunning 3D embossing folder. Doesn't get as much credit as it deserves because it just gives such a beautiful, beautiful emboss. It's gorgeous. So if I show you the one that I pre-prepped, so this is where we're headed. Our little diamond easel card. Never easy to show on camera when you've got an overhead camera, but we'll give it a go. Haven't used your padded quilt for ages. Well, there's an excuse to get it out now, Margaret. It is beautiful, to be fair, and I'm guilty of the same. I don't use it as much as I should, but then when you're sort of making ahead of the game, as it were, you tend to forget what you've already got. So, you know, it's one of those, just a reminder of what we've already got in our stash. So this is our diamond easel card, and it might look complicated, but it isn't. It's so easy. You could probably do it blindfold, and it just looks really effective, I think. So you can see here where I've used the BAROQUE folder, and I've used it on the background behind my heart as well here. But what I didn't think of when I put these pieces of card down was that I should have embossed this on the, not on the square. I should have done it on the triangle so that it was upright. But I don't really think it makes that much difference. I still think it looks fabulous, but it would have looked better if it was the right way up. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, whatever. But the padded quilt I have done the right way. So this is from the Be Happy sentiment set. as is this one, When You Smile, I Smile. I love that. I think that's fabulous. And this is where I've stamped my flowers using that Summer Petunia stamp, okay, just to give it a little bit of interest so that it didn't look quite so sparse. And then I've just decorated the card. The card that I'm doing today will look slightly different to this. I've used 3 colours on here. I've used the tourmaline blue, pina colada and juicy pineapple. I'm going pinks and blues today, so I'm still using the tourmaline blue, so the majority of the card will be blue to match the blue that I've used as my mats and layers, but these bits here and here will look quite different today, okay, and the flowers will be pink, okay. So if I leave that there so that hopefully you can still see it, move those out of the way, and we will get cracking with the stenciling. So because I only want to use sort of 2 colours, if you like, pinks and blues, I haven't cleaned my stencil, as you can see, because I used it yesterday to do that one, and I haven't cleaned it, other than I've cleaned the stencils where I've used yellow, because obviously today I'm using pink. I don't want them to contaminate the colours that I'm using today. Okay, so I'm putting this little bit of tape down, primarily so that I don't catch the card when I lift the stencils off, not for any other reason. Okay, so we're going in with this beautiful tourmaline blue. Now what I want to try and do is use this one colour for the majority of the card, but give it different shades. So I'm going to be using different pressures. And I love the effect that you get by just using one colour. So I'm going to start quite light, because obviously you can always go in and darken things up, but once you've added your ink down, you can't take it away. So start light, and then you can go in and add a little bit more if you need to. I am using the whole of the stencil, because it's too beautiful not to be fair. So I'm going in here, this tourmaline blue. I do love this colour. I think it's just, it's dark enough to be interesting, but it's light enough to give different effects. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna stick with that. It's really quite light, but that's exactly what I want. Now then, on my original, you can see here that I actually did the heart in blue. I'm going to change it up a little bit today. I'm going to do the heart in pink, because I want it to be, I want it to stand out a little bit more than that one did. So I'm just going to do the blue flowers. I'm going to go quite light, but a little bit darker than I was on that first layer. So I'm just going to go in and do these tiny little bits, and then I'm going to go and do the heart in pink, because I want the heart to really sort of stand out a little bit more than the one I did yesterday. So just add a little bit more down here of that blue, and then I can come in and put my pink. Now don't do what I did and use the wrong brush in the wrong ink pad, because it really won't look right. Made a right mess of my ink pad yesterday, but never mind. So I'm coming in with the shocking pink, because like I say, I want this heart to actually really stand out on this card, more so than the one in blue that I've already done, because it's, I don't know, I just think it deserves to sort of be noticed, if you like. It is the lovely blue, Connie, and you won't be disappointed. I would say until you're 100% certain, go quite light with it, and then sort of increase your pressure as you get used to using the colour, because it can be quite dark if you go in heavy. So I'd go gentle to start with. So I'm just filling in these little apertures with this pink. Now you can see here I've gone over my blue with my pink, but I'm not worried. It won't matter. Okay. I think that'll do. I've tried to avoid all the blue areas, but I forgot that one there. Now that's better. I like that one better than the blue one because it stands out a lot. So we'll come back to our blue. And again, not too heavy, but a little bit heavier than the first layer. So I'm holding the brush in a little bit further down to give me a bit more pressure on the head of that brush. If I want it lighter, then I'd hold the brush further back so that I'm not putting as much pressure on that brush head. Okay, so always remember that. If you take the pressure off the brush head, your ink will automatically be lighter on your card. Hi Sue. Okay, so this is layer 3, and as I say, there are 10 stencils in this set, and that's because you need 10 stencils. If you need 4, you'll get 4. If you need 5, you'll get 5. If you need 10, you'll get 10. If you need more than that, you'll get more than that. No worries, Colleen, you're here now. That's all that matters. Okay, so now these flowers here are going to be my pink flowers. This over here, I'm going to leave as blue, okay? And this little bit here, I'm going to leave as blue. So possibly that flower there as well. Because I just want these big flowers to be my coloured bits, if you like, my sort of standout bits. So I'm going to come in with my smaller brush just to fill in these smaller apertures. I'm going to go quite dark with these so that they look completely different to what's already there. And then I'm going to go in with my pink. Now I'm going to start with Dusky Rose because the Shocking Pink will be my accent colours. So I'm going to come in with my Wonder Brush and I'm going to go in with my pink. So this is going to be quite bright, but that's fine because the Shocking Pink's even brighter and it will stand out even more against this beautiful Dusky Rose. Hopefully. I've not tried it with pinks, so we shall both get a surprise when I take it off, when I've finished. Okay, I like that. Now we're coming in with the detail. So on the detail, I'm going to go in with Shocking Pink instead of Dusky Rose. I was going to leave it sort of different shades of the same colour, but I'm going to go Shocking Pink on this. I'm not worried about cleaning my brush because they're both pinks, so I'm really not worried. It's not going to make a great deal of difference. Now you can see this little flower here, this one that I did blue, so I'm going to go back and do that in blue as well, because I only want the bigger flowers, as I say, to be pink. So I'm going to go back with my blue and just go over that little flower there, like so. I like that. And then I think the majority of the rest of the card is going to be the blues, but I just love the effect of mainly one colour in different shades, and then just picking out certain aspects with a different colour. I think it makes the flowers pop off the card. I don't think she's trying to get rid of you really, Sue. You are missed when you're not here, I've got to be honest. Right. So I'm going to take this off and have a look at it. It might be a bit light. I might need to go back in and do a little bit more. But that's the beauty of the peg system. You can go in and you can add a little bit more. I am going to go a little bit darker with that, I think, because I want these sort of scrolly bits to stand out a bit more. So I am going to go a little bit darker with that. And like I say, this is the beauty of having this fabulous peg system. You know, you're never going to put it in the wrong place, are you? It's always going to line up. It's a fabulous, fabulous system. I would not be without it now. Okay, that's better. I like that. So then again, we're coming in and we're putting more detail in. So again, I'm going to go a lot heavier with this because these are the details on all the leaves and the sort of the tiny little details around the edge. I could go pink with those, but I really want the pink to be in the middle on the flowers. So I'm going to stick with the blue. And again, I'm going to take it off, have a look, decide whether I'm happy. And then I might add a little bit more. I might just leave it as it is. But you can see how quick it is. And I do find it really really therapeutic, really satisfying to spend a little bit of time just creating beautiful things. Now I'm going to go reasonably heavy with this because these are really small pieces that I want to stand out. So again, there's more detail on the leaves and there's more detail down here at the bottom of the heart. And I just love the amount of detail that Lisa gets into her stencils. You know, there's really nothing left to the imagination, is there? For me, best on the market, second to none. Yeah, like that a lot. So then this one is blue, and then the last stencil will put a little bit of detail onto those other pink flowers. So we're going to go in with the pink again on those. Now I could go in with a little stencil brush on here, but I'm doing this for speed because obviously we've got to put the card together as well. So I'm trying to sort of get through the stenciling, cutting it out and embossing it as quick as I can so that we can get on to actually making the card. A bit croaky. Now hopefully these will stand out when I take this off, but I can always go back in and I will just go over them a little bit. And you just keep going until you're happy with what you've got. You know, it's your creation. Lisa's given you the tools to work with. You just use them as you see fit, okay? You just put your colours where you want them. So I've got 3 flowers here that I'm going to put detail in, and then there's a tiny little bit there that's going to be blue. So I'm just going to use what ink I've got left on my brush to do that. And when you take this off, before you die cut it and emboss it, it looks lovely. But once you emboss it, on my days, it just comes to life. As does all of Lisa's, 3D embossing folders and stencils. Now I like that. I think that heart stands out much better than it does on here. See, because I used the same colour. But on here I've made it sort of pop, and I like that. So let's use our die and cut it out. So our die is here. Now obviously, there are little bits that you're not going to get with this die cut, because if Lisa had made this die to cut out every tiny little piece like these 3 here, and there's a few up here as well. If I take this tape off, you see there's a couple here. It would just price it out of the market because it would just use too much metal. So you have to make a decision and sort of go with the flow, if you like. So I'm just going to wipe my things off there, and I'm just going to cut this out, and then I'm going to run it through the embossing folder. I had a bit of a disaster yesterday. One of my plates snapped on my die cutting machine, and I'm like, oh no, what do I do now? So I'm having to use my glitter ones that I bought off Lisa a while back, and I didn't really want to, but so there you go, there it is, cut out. Even that, doesn't that just look gorgeous? It's fabulous. So let's take the 3D embossing folder, And obviously this is only going to go in one way because of the way the folders are designed. I take a little bit of time to line it up, and I do exactly what Lisa does. I find one piece and line that up, hold it in place, and then move everything else till it all lines up, and it will all line up, I promise you. So I think that's pretty much it. So I'll just pop this through and emboss it. And go for the reveal. Ta-da! Look at that! Isn't that gorgeous? Don't you think that's beautiful? And the deboss, if I show you the deboss is amazing. And you see how much detail there is in there. The number of layers you get with these 3D embossing folders is just incredible. So I like that. In fact, I think I like the pink one better than the yellow one. But, you know, horses for courses and all that. Now have I finished with that? Probably. So let's move that out of the way. And then we can start and put our card together. Okay, so if I run through what you're going to need to make your card, and then we can start and put it together. So your main piece is 6 by 12. Okay, this is Lisa's white texture card, and that's what I've used throughout. I've used Lisa's white texture card on everything, and the texture card that I've used here is American Craft, purely and simply because Lisa doesn't do these colours. Okay, so this is 6 by 12, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to score it on the long side at 3 inches and 6 inches. In fact, let me do this bit with you, because I've already done one that I've prepared so that I didn't have to do any of the cutting. So if we put that in there, and we're going to score it at 3 inches, and we're going to score it at 6 inches. Okay, so that's your sort of your card base, if you like, and then this is your where you're making your this bit, the diamond easel part. Okay, and to do that, once you've scored this, you're going to turn it round, and on the short side, find my pencil, just make a mark at 3 inches. Okay, and then you need to draw a line. I would just make a little mark on your score line here, because your score lines are quite difficult to see when you come to actually draw your lines that I'm going to do now. What you need to do is draw a line from that 3-inch mark to that first score line. Okay, make sure you get it as crisp as you can. So point to crease. All right, draw your line and then do the same the other side. So from the 3-inch mark to that first 3-inch crease, and draw your line. Okay, and then what you're going to do is fold it in on itself and cut away those triangles. Okay, now you can do it with a trimmer. I can't do it with my trimmer because it doesn't give me a clean cut at the moment. I need a new blade in it, and it's driving me insane, so I won't use my trimmer. You could use a guillotine if you can line it up spot on. I know some are better than others. You could use a craft knife, or you could use scissors. I used my guillotine, I've got to be honest, but I did cut both pieces together. So you're doing front and back, okay? So really you only want to draw your lines once. So I would, if you're good with scissors, if you're not, use a craft knife. If you're not, use a trimmer. If you can't use a trimmer, use a guillotine. If you haven't got any of those, don't do a diamond easel card, because you do need to be able to cut this line, all right? And then the other side, so that when you've finished cutting these pieces and you turn it the right way in, that makes, and you folded that and scored that, that makes your base of your card. Okay, now that's easy, isn't it? There's nothing too difficult about that. So that's the base of your card. Okay, I'm not going to waste that. I will make another easel card because I've already got all the bits cut out, because these aren't the bits that I'm going to use today. I wanted to use satin card because I wanted to make it look really, really special. So the other pieces of card that you will need are all here. Okay, so if I bring this one in, these pieces here are 4 1/8 square. Okay, when I did the original, this is 4 1/4 inch square, and when I'd put them down, I actually thought that it would be nice if I could see a little bit of white border around here so that it matched this white border all the way around. Okay, so I made them a little bit smaller. So these are 4 1/8. If you don't want that white border and you want it to go all the way to the edge, make it 4 1/4. Doesn't really matter. Okay. No worries, Jan. Okay, so that's that one. And then where the yellow card is, the pink pieces here, they're 4 inches square. Now, if you like a larger matten layer, you'll see if I put these on here that it's a very tiny matten layer. Okay, you can't really see much of that blue card at all. I'll put it the right way around. Okay, it is a tiny matten layer. So if you want that matten layer to be a little bit bigger, make this 3 7/8. And then it will give you a little bit more of that blue showing. I quite like it smaller. Okay, it's just my personal taste. So that's 4 inches square. Those are 4 1/8. Just adjust them to suit what you want, the look you like. Okay, so that's those pieces. And then you're going to need 2 pieces to match the base diamonds, which measure 2 6/8 square. Okay, 2 pieces, 2 6/8 square, and cut them in on the diagonal once. So you're cutting both pieces on the diagonal so that you've got 4 triangles. Okay. Now, when I did this one, you can see here that I've used just the same card that I've used for my diamond on the inside, but on the outside I added a black as well. When I looked at it afterwards, I wasn't sure I liked it. I mean, it looks okay, but I wasn't sure I was happy with it. So I've changed it up a little bit today. So I've stopped at that. But if you did want the black, then just cut a square 1/8 of an inch smaller than this one. So 2 5/8 or 2 4/8, depending on how much of a border you want. Okay, so that's entirely up to you. And then these 2 pieces, this piece is 5 6/8 by 2 6/8, and that's your matten layer for your white piece on the inside. And then your white piece where you're going to stamp your sentiment is 2 5/8 by 5 5/8. So I've just come in 1/8 on that blue card. Okay, now I'm not using those, but I am going to use this on the card that I'm making today. So those are all your pieces, and I will use these because I've got everything made, so I might as well. Okay, so let's go to our card base, and you can see I've already done my cutting and everything. All right, so the first thing I'm going to put in is my sentiment. All right, and you can see that I've already stamped my sentiments. I've used a different one from the same set. May your day be filled with happiness. And I've used the same stamp, but I've gone right way up here and I've done it upside down here, just so it looks a little bit different. But I've stamped it in the same tourmaline blue so that it all ties in. Okay, because I really like that idea. So I'm going to add this to my piece of blue satin card, which again, like I said, is 5 6/8 by 2 6/8. So I'm just going to put my glue on here. And then I can add this down to my satin card. And the reason I used the satin card was because I just think it gives a really classy finish. I just think it's so expensive looking, and I think it's a set worth making look like you've you know, you've spent a lot of money making it. No worries, Lynn. Snipped out to place your order. Well done, Betty. You won't regret it. I promise you won't regret it. So this then is going on the back here. Okay, and that just sits really nicely on the back. So if I just add my glue down here, I really need another bottle, which I have got, fortunately. I always buy more than one of anything like this of Lisa's, because it does sell really, really quickly. And I know that if I don't get spares, when I run out, there won't be any in stock. Okay, so that's my inside, and I really like that. The satin card just does it for me. So because I said I didn't like the black on those triangles, I've done these triangles a little bit different. But before I put the triangles on, I am going to put my diamonds on. Okay, now you can see here that I've already embossed it with that beautiful, beautiful padded quilt. And I've used the pink satin card, and I've used the same blue satin card that I've used on the border here. Okay, and then I'm going to add this on here. Now you can see that because I've gone a little bit smaller, I can get that little white border all the way around, and I just think that makes all the difference. If I lift that up, you can see that little white border all the way around that piece that I've added on there, and I just think it's just worth taking that few extra seconds just to make it sort of pop. Do you know what I mean? So of course you're only going to need glue on half of this, because if you glue all of it, it's going to stick to your card and you're not going to be able to open it. So I'm going to place my card where I want it, leaving that little beautiful white border all the way around, and I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to draw a faint pencil line all the way across, and that way it is a faint pencil line as well. I know that I'm only going to put glue where I need it. I'm not going to spoil the look of the card because I've put my glue too far up. Okay, and then we're going to pop that down there like so, and leave that beautiful little white border all the way around the corner. I like that. I just think that padded quilt in satin card looks amazing. Okay, so that's that one. And then this one, you're going to do exactly the same, but obviously you can put glue on the whole of the back here. And again, I want that white border around that piece that I'm adding in there. Okay, but what you need to make sure of is that it doesn't meet that crease, so that when you fold your card, it still folds down beautifully. Okay. Oh, hi Lisa, I didn't see you. So again, I'm going to put my glue on here, and then I'm going to glue this down, and then I can fit my little triangles around these pieces. So I'd always put these down first, because then it makes sighting those triangles a lot easier. Okay, so I'm going to pop that down there, leave that little white border all the way around that bottom corner, and then your points of your diamond here will meet where you've cut those lines away, those triangles away. Okay, so that's the basis of your card. All right, so then you need to come and put your triangles in. Now, like I said, I didn't want to use two colours. I just wanted to use the one colour so that it matched everything else. Okay, and I did the hearts because I wanted to tie it all in, so I wanted hearts with hearts. Okay, so those two are going there, and these two will go on the inside in a minute. So we'll do these two first, and I would go a little bit more generous with your glue, because like I say, the depth on these 3D folders is so deep that you need to make sure that your card's not going to move. So I would be a little bit more generous than perhaps you otherwise would be with your glue, and then just put that down there, and then that little white board around here is going to match this little white board around here, And I just think that makes all the difference. It just makes it look a little bit more professional. Oh, there's a few satin card left, is there? Tempted to get another one. Are they on a deal, Lisa, or are they just sort of members 10%? I'll just pop that down there, and again leave that little white border and try and line it up so that it all looks level at the top. Nothing worse than something that you can see straight away doesn't look level. It is, Sue, isn't it? Especially in satin card. It looks amazing. Precious about your satin card? I think we all are, Lynn, because it is so beautiful. And, you know, I think if we could buy a pack to just look at and buy a pack to use, just the members 10%. Brilliant. Thanks, Lisa. But, you know, whatever price you pay for this satin card, I've got to say, it's worth paying way more than you actually do pay, because it is stunning stuff. So I'm going to add this down here. I'm a little bit heavy-handed with my glue there, but it will dry clear, and you can always polish it off satin card. So once it's dry, just use microfiber cloth or something and just give it a good wipe over, and it will polish up. You can get rid of the glue stain because it's a PVA sort of base glue. You know, it will come off, so never worry about that. But wait till it's dry. Don't try and rub it off while it's still wet, because you'll just make it worse. So wait till it's dry and then polish it off with a microfiber cloth, and it will be absolutely fine. Okay, so that's all my satin card done. I mean, don't you think it just looks a little bit classy, that? Now this is just a scrap of white card that I've stamped on, and again this sentiment comes from that Be Happy set of sentiments, the Be Happy 1 and Be Happy 2, and I'm so glad that they were back on TV because they are beautiful sentiments. So this was just a scrap of white, and I've just matted and layered it onto that same blue satin card, and I'm just going to pop that on there. I could have put my 3D pads on there before I started, but I forgot, so we'll do it now. It doesn't take long. I'm just going to put it straight across the middle because it will hold it beautifully anyway. Okay, so if I take those off there, and then I can pop this down here, stand this up where I think I want it to be. So I want it to stand reasonably high up, so we'll put it there and we'll try and put it straight. So the beauty of the padded quilt is you can always line stuff up because you've got those lines. Lining stuff up is easy. Okay, so that's where you're going to set that, and then all we need to do is add that beautiful heart onto our front piece. Now I'm going to put my 3D pads on there. Obviously I couldn't do these before because I needed to stencil it and cut it out and 3D it. Yes, I can imagine, Lorraine. It is a bit sad when you do that. You just have to measure twice, cut once. That's what they always say, isn't it? Maybe if I actually listened to that and heeded what people say, I wouldn't make as many mistakes. But never mind. There are no mistakes in crafting, just happy accidents. So are you not getting any more, Lisa, after what's selling has sold? So we've just got to wait until the next fabulous release of whatever you decide to bring out, have we? You just have to grit your teeth, put the knife in and just go for it. It's card, ladies, it's card. It's beautiful, but it is card. They'll just go with the flow. Okay, so I just need to line this up. And again, because I've got this padded quilt, I can line the point of the heart with the point of one of those quilted pieces. I might go a little bit higher up actually and just pop that down there. Is that central? I think it is. I think it is. It is now anyway. Okay, so there you go. There's my diamond fold easel card using the Floral Heart. 2 different colourways, 2 different card bases if you like. But this one, for me, just sings class, quality, expensive. This is beautiful, but this just takes it to a whole other level, I think. There was a limited run. Next time it'll be different colours. Fabulous. Oh, I'm looking forward to that then. Better save up. Better ask for gift vouchers for Christmas, haven't I? The gift vouchers have quite a long shelf life, don't they, Lisa? If I remember rightly. So there you go, ladies and gents, if there's any gents. I'll say gents just in case Tom watches and catch up later. Okay, so there's you 2. As I say, a bit difficult to show on an overhead camera, but if I hold them up a little bit, then you can see them a bit better, and they don't fall backwards either. So I just think they look, and this, for me, this Floral Heart, it just needs something to say, look at me, I'm special, because it's beautiful. You could use it for a wedding card, you could use it for an anniversary, you could use it for a special birthday, you could use it for a Christmas birthday, you could even use it for a Christmas card if you use the right colours. It was fine. I don't suppose it will even matter, Lorraine, because they're beautiful with or without embossing, so I really don't think it'll matter. But I know how you feel, because I've done that too. And you look at it and you think, duh. But, you know, such is life, eh? Such is life. So there you go. Not bad timing either. 2 diamond-shaped easel cards. On Thursday, I'm still using the Floral Heart, but I'm going to make a 3D star pinwheel card. Now, it sounds complicated. It really isn't. Yes, there's a bit of gluing and a bit of measuring, but it's well worth the effort. So if you want to join me on Thursday, that's what we're making on Thursday, and we are using this again. I might not stencil it live because there's a lot to make in the card. I will probably have done my stenciling ahead of time. If I stencil it, I might just emboss it depending on what I cut it on. I might just cut it on satin card. But the 3D pinwheel, star pinwheel card is what we're making on Thursday, still using the Floral Heart. So I hope you can join me on Thursday. What else have I got to tell you? Claire will be with you tomorrow at 2. When's Lisa on TV? Is it Wednesday, Lisa? Are you on TV on Wednesday? I can't remember what date is it on Wednesday. I think you are, aren't you? And it's 4 o'clock. Is it a new and exclusive? But it's a new and exclusive, lots of deals. Wednesday, I thought it was. So Lisa will be with you on TV on Wednesday, and I'm sure it's 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock, and then 10 a.m. the following day. Or is it 8 a.m? Might even be 8 a.m. Can't remember. What am I like? I'm hopeless, aren't I? I should have written it down. 4 p.m. Thank you. I knew that bit was right. Okay, and then obviously Friday night she'll be back with her live on a Friday as usual, 8 a.m. See, I really ought to have it written down, stuck to my window in front of me. One day specials I've got off pat. I know those all the time, but you don't do new and exclusives very often, so it sort of slipped my mind, but never mind. So yeah, please join Claire tomorrow at 2, and then come back and join me on Thursday at 1 o'clock. And I'll see you all very soon. So take care, everybody, and thanks for joining me. Bye now.